Welcome beautiful ones, Joseph here. Today we're talking exfoliants. I'm going to explain to you what the difference is between manual exfoliants and chemical exfoliants. Do you really need an exfoliant? And stay tuned towards the end of this tutorial where I'm going to teach you how to make your very own DIY at-home microdermabrasion cream. Okay guys, before we talk about the difference between chemical exfoliants and manual exfoliants, it's going to be useful for us to understand why we actually need an exfoliant. So we shed our skin on a bi-weekly basis. It sheds itself entirely between every 2 to 4 weeks. And I think we lose possibly around 0.001 of an ounce every day of skin. Think about it, those skins sitting on the skin surface, those dead spent skin flakes, skin teeth sitting on the skin surface, they're dulling your complexion because underneath all of that dead skin there's obviously fresh glowing new skin which needs to come to the surface, and that's basically what your exfoliant does. It helps to remove those dead spent flakes away, thus revealing brighter, fresher skin underneath. And so the need for a exfoliant to reveal that fresher, brighter skin underneath those dead skin cells is obviously very much called for. Chemical exfoliants typically are acids. They've always historically been acids anyway. However, nowadays there are many other ingredients which can chemically exfoliate the skin which have no acids in them at all. We have fruit enzymes like papain from papaya, you have bromelain which comes from the pineapple I believe, and all of these can loosen the glue which holds those dead skin cells together, thus producing or revealing I should say the smooth baby soft skin underneath. There's also N-acetyl D-glucosamine, which has no acids in it at all. That can efficiently and very effectively remove those dead skin cells. And what all of these ingredients will do is they melt the glue which holds those dead skin cells together, thus helping them to break up and to reveal the fresher skin underneath. Chemical exfoliants typically come from anywhere between 0.5% to the deeper peels at possibly 10 to 15% of the active acid or chemical exfoliant in the formula. Whereas, of course, a manual exfoliant will physically remove the dead skin cells from the skin via friction. And manual exfoliants obviously have to contain some kind of ingredient which can help to slough off the dead skin cells. So they tend to have very small particles which can affect that sloughing of the skin. In the olden days they used to use crushed up walnut seeds. Sand has even been used as manual exfoliants, and it is 3 things which will make your manual exfoliant work better or worse, whichever way you look at it. So what you're looking at here is particle size, particle hardness, and how many of them are actually in the formula. As a rough guide, guys, the bigger the particles, the more gentle the formulation will be. And similarly, the harder or softer the grains are will dictate to you how thorough the exfoliation is. Softer ones obviously produce a far more gentle exfoliant, whereas harder ones speak for themselves. Of course, the amount of exfoliant which is in your product will also dictate to you how effective your formulation is. The more you have of your grains, the more thorough the exfoliation will be too. So the really big question is, guys, do you really need an exfoliant? The answer is, of course, it depends. It depends on whether you want smoother, fresher, younger looking skin. It also depends whether you want your pores being unclogged. Both manual and chemical exfoliants can in fact make your moisturizer and serums work better because they're removing that barrier of dead skin cells between your skin and your treatment, thus enhancing their actions. And of course, regular use of a gentle manual or chemical exfoliant will provide the perfect canvas for your foundation because you haven't got those dead skin cells clogging the surface of your skin up, thus providing an even, smooth surface for applications of foundation, blusher, so on and so forth. And best of all, guys, a use of a regular either manual or chemical exfoliant will help to boost collagen production and stimulation, so you're fighting those fine lines and wrinkles too. So I get asked a lot, can you combine a chemical and manual exfoliant in the same formula? The answer is, of course, why not? Using both, of course, will provide far better results. Thinking about it from a logical perspective, the chemical exfoliant you're putting on your skin will loosen the dead skin cells, and then the manual exfoliant will help to slough those dead skin cells away. As a rule, guys, obviously the more gentle the formulation, the more regularly we'll be able to use it. Personally speaking, I use a scrub with both a chemical and a manual exfoliant in it once or twice a week. And of course I make my own. And stay tuned, guys, I'm going to show you how to make the exact same microdermabrasion scrub I use on my face. So gorgeous ones, the main ingredient I use in my manual and chemical exfoliant in one, or my at-home microdermabrasion, is aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide is very, very, very small particles, and they're incredibly hard to. The powder is almost like a dust. It's incredibly fine, and also you can't actually feel it when you put it in a cream or a lotion. You won't be able to feel the grains as in you do when you do larger grains. And of course, beautiful ones, because the particles of aluminum oxide are so small, you'll be able to give yourself a far more thorough, in-depth exfoliation. Aluminum oxide is, of course, the ingredient used in professional microdermabrasions. However, guys, you can, of course, always change the aluminum oxide for crushed walnut shells if you want, or tiny little plastic beads, as long as whatever you're adding into your formula can affect a friction-based exfoliation. So that's the manual side of our formula taken care of. Let's now move on to the chemical side. As you beautiful ones at home will be well aware, I'm a huge fan of salicylic acid. However, you don't have to spend a lot of money on the acid or the manual side of this exfoliant, guys. For this treatment, I'm going to be using dispersible aspirin. This contains acetyl salicylic acid and lactose, so it's just 2 ingredients. And what, of course, the aspirin will do is as soon as it touches the skin, it starts to dissolve the glue which is holding the dead skin cells together. The salicylic acid in aspirin is also capable of going very much deeper into the pores and thus unclogging pores, revealing brighter, fresher looking skin, of course. And aspirin formulations are typically very, very gentle on the skin. So the combination of using aspirin as our chemical exfoliant plus aluminum oxide or aluminium oxide as our manual exfoliant should produce a wonderfully effective treatment. This formula is incredibly gentle to use, guys. I wouldn't advise using it on a daily basis, possibly once a week, twice a week if you have oilier skin or possibly maturer skin, to get your skin cells turning over far more regularly. And best of all, of course, is the price. It costs a matter of pence to make, guys, whereas a home dermabrasion kit in the shops would cost you possibly 40, possibly even 50 pounds, 60 or 70 US dollars. So it's win-win, guys. So stay tuned, guys. Tutorial of how to make my at-home DIY microdermabrasion cream following now. So gorgeous ones, this is how to make my DIY at-home microdermabrasion paste. So you'll need a clean bowl, a tube of white plain cream, dispersible aspirin, and of course the power ingredient in this formula is aluminum oxide or aluminium oxide, as we say in England. You won't need 2 spoons. I only ever used 1 for this formula. I don't know why I brought 2 into the equation. So into the bowl, I'm squirting about 1/3 of a tube of my white cream. If you want more, then just double or triple up the formula. Into the white cream, I'm now going to add 2 tablets of dispersible aspirin. As you can see, I had a bit of trouble getting them out of the packet and they crumbled, but that is 2 whole aspirin tablets. Into the white cream they go. Give them a quick stir just to blend them in. You don't have to be too thorough. Now to the microwave with this lot. So this went into the microwave for about 15-20 seconds until the cream had melted. The dispersible aspirin just melts into the formula. So now we need to add our power ingredient, the aluminum oxide. These grains are tiny, guys, and they're really, really hard, giving her a far more thorough exfoliation. So into the white cream and aspirin mixture, I'm going to add 1/3 of a teaspoon of aluminium oxide. That's there, lovely jubbly. Just blending those ingredients together. And once this formula's cooled, it will harden, not too hard though, because it gives it like a whipped sort of texture, which I love. You can always add a few drops of essential oil if you want to fragrance your formula. And that's how we make our at-home DIY microdermabrasion paste. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Right, guys, this is the finished article. It's a white cream, quite whipped in texture. Because it has the salicylic acid in there and via the aspirin and of course the aluminum oxide, you have the benefits of both actions on the skin. You've got the salicylic acid melting the glue, which are holding the dead skin cells together, and then of course the aluminum oxide, which will help to sweep all of that away. So how to use it? I would say to apply it to damp skin when you're in the bath, or of a morning or of an evening. Apply it to a damp face, just massage it in and then leave it for 5 minutes to let the salicylic acid do its work, and then rinse off and pat your skin dry afterwards. Your skin will then be wonderfully prepared for skincare. Your foundation will go on perfectly well without clogging or getting stuck in dry spent skin flakes. So yeah, that's how we make our at-home DIY microdermabrasion paste. I've already said how much money this formula will save you. It really does save loads of money in the long run, guys, making it a win-win situation. You know, guys, just please be sensible. Don't overuse this formula at all because it will inflame your skin. But that's today's tutorial. I hope you liked it, lovely ones. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Help us all grow. Like this video and leave a comment and I will answer it. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Lots of love. Take care.